Cami back with Fun with Google A to Z, and today T is for time-lapse in Google Earth. So to get there, we're going to just go to a new tab and Google time-lapse. Google Earth is probably the quickest way. And then probably the first 2 or 3 hits that you get will take you to time-lapse in Google Earth. When we get to Google Earth through the Earth engine, it will give us a time lapse that's happening in the background. So you can see at the side of the screen, it is going from years, it starts in 1984 and up until 2021, 22. And you can see in this case a shrinking glacier. This is the Columbia Glacier in Alaska. On the left-hand side, a whole bunch of different types of time lapses that are ready for you. And so we could look at urban growth, irrigation, shrinking glaciers, shrinking forests, all sorts of things. It is quite interesting to watch cities grow. This is Las Vegas. Sometimes I like to put my mouse on an edge of the first image in 1984. That gives me a sense of how much it has grown. And I find that you usually need to look at the time lapses of something a couple times to see what effects there's having. So from Earth Engine, Google's Earth Engine, which is where the data is from that runs Google Earth, I'm going to come up and I'm going to click time lapse in Earth. You might also have gotten to this space depending on what you clicked in your Google search. So here we can see Google Earth loading. And then as soon as it loads, it picks an area and starts to show you a time lapse. And so we can see up here, there's a time lapse that's happening. And it just pauses and then it starts again. When we take a look over here, we can see that there are 5 categories above: forests, fragile beauty, sources of energy, warming planet, urban expansion. So if you're teaching upper elementary, middle school, high school, you can tell that there's lots of curricular connections here. Then if we go up again, we also can click on featured locations and there's a whole library. We can see here that there are 10 agriculture visits that have already been done, infrastructure, megacities. We can see a whole list there. So you can pick from those that are pre-done, but there's more. If I want to search anywhere in Google Earth, I can now do that. So let's take a city near me. So I'm going to go Calgary, Alberta. It's a major city close to where I live. We'll zoom in here and it's going to start at 2022 and then it backs up to some of its earliest images. And again, I've put my cursor on the side of the city so that I can see how it's grown. And then I'm going to wait till it starts again. I'm going to move my cursor somewhere else so I can see the type of growth that's happening. All right, so the growth of cities is really one of the fantastic things, but there's also the destruction of forests, the shrinking of glaciers, all sorts of interesting things that you can see. So whether you are just interested in the Earth and want to look at something really interesting, or you're looking at a geographical area or an area of course of study, time lapse for Google Earth has something for everyone.